put on a lot of blue eyeshadow before she went out. You had to back then. Yeah. It was kind of like your way of saying, hey, I'm out here. The cars don't run me over. Yeah. Like, I'm single. I'm super sad, but I'm also, like, living my life. Yeah. You know? Just because I'm at the cemetery doesn't mean I'm not going to bring it 100. Right. I'm not saying they didn't have in the 80s. They didn't. I'm not a mess. I always wonder, like, what would happen if you went back in time, went to the 80s, and then, like, use the sayings from today? Would people think you're cool or insane? Or from Germany? Right. Those are the only 3 choices. How are you? I would like to go back to the 80s. And just tell myself, just relax a little bit. Oh my God. Don't have to talk so much. Yeah. I would like to say, stop fucking caring. Stop caring. You can't do that though when you're a teen. No. There's too many chemicals in your brain. But I was in elementary school and I wish I'd stopped caring. Oh. I had to a new psychiatrist this week. And she did this thing where she like asked me questions like a half an hour, which I loved, but they were all questions where I had to be like, yeah, I guess I do feel like I had to admit a lot of shit. And like I had to, she's like, when you were a kid, how did you feel? And I'm like, well, I guess I hated myself. Like I had to feel like, yeah, you delayed all on the line. This woman I just met, yeah, like this nice older woman, like old nice lady who ignored me completely when I was like, well, my sex drive's kind of down. She's just like moving on to the next part. Like, she's like, I'm not talking about that. Wow. Well, she was Armenian too. Like, so I think she was just this like kind of proper, nice Armenian woman. What if she was like, here's the thing, we're gonna cure that sex drive. And it's gonna be out of you entirely. And you're gonna be balls deep and fucking. Oh no, I was thinking the opposite, where she was just like, that's how we're gonna concentrate.
Look, if there's people who have regular jobs who are
coming out of the rain.
I love to spend your hard-earned money to buy tickets to your shows. Yeah. You don't need this right here, I promise you. Right now. Is it? Oh, you got the cure?
I'm just trying to improv your sex talk. Here's the first thing I need to tell you, Steven, and everybody in America. Okay. Of course there are Italian Jews. I know. Of course there are Italian Jews. We were kidding. I mean, I think I was just kind of wondering aloud, but man, did the Italian Jews come out in droves to let me know that they exist. Me too. And I have to quote, the name that someone wrote. Of course there are Italian Jews. I'm one of them. Think of us as the pizza bagels of religion. Well, that was perfect. Yeah? Well, if she's the one saying it and it's her thing, doesn't she get to describe herself however she wants? And also it's like, well, you're talking about a bagel, which is a Jewish thing. You're talking about pizza, which is an Italian thing, you know, traditionally. And so it's not like it's... Yes, it totally makes sense. Anyways, go on. It is a logical joke. And it's a good joke, even. So yeah, I mean, we might need to cut Corrections Corner out entirely. Just going this direction. Corrections Corner is we're cutting out. Here's the correction we need to make. We need to stop talking about it. No, this was a real good email that Steven just gave me. Subject line is, my dad was John Orr's partner. So this was, I think, from 2 episodes ago. John Orr was the arson investigator in Glendale, California. It was Glendale, right? Yeah. Okay, so here's this email. Howdy, hey. That's the greeting. So I'm driving to work and I have been listening to your podcast from the beginning. I hadn't listened in a few days and I started off with the mini episode and you started mentioning John Orr. My mouth dropped open and suddenly I was in the car searching for the podcast where you talked about the arsonist John Orr and I couldn't believe it. You were talking about a man who I grew up with. Who was my dad's partner at the fire station. My dad worked for the Glendale Police Department, and the two were paired up so that they would have a police officer and a fireman to investigate possible fires that had been started by arsonists. They were partners for 6 to 10 years, and we knew John and his family. The entire time he had been setting fires right under my dad's nose. My dad does recall that there were times when my dad was the one who was on call for the weekend in case of any fires were suspicious. They were on call most of the time and would race to the scene of the fire. And most of the time, John would show up saying things like, I thought you might need my help. My dad would get so annoyed, but we know but we now know why he was there. My dad and a few of the men with some of the 10 people you spoke of were board members of the CCAI, California Conference of Arson Investigators, who attended all of the arson seminars in Fresno, in Monterey, and as a matter of fact, they were once John's peers. As I was listening to your podcast, I just wanted to scream and say, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I so badly wish I could have called it. We had a call-in show. Yeah, we gotta do a long episode where it's a call-in. I mean, that's so hilarious. Just someone screaming. I know that is. There was so much to this entire story. My dad stopped being his partner before he was caught and arrested. My dad did have to testify against him and was investigated because John Orr was his partner. You spoke of him possibly being a psychopath, and I recall my dad telling me different stories about how in different situations, how indifferent he would act toward different things. So I think there's something to that, a definite lack of empathy. I've never seen the Forensic Files on his story, and I remember when the movie was released, of course no one in my family saw it. The book you spoke of was really disheartening because the man who wrote it mentions my dad several times because John spoke of my dad. John and the author were not kind. The author of the book never once spoke to my dad, and most of the book is John's opinion. He is a psycho and deserves to be locked up in jail for the rest of his life. I think he is. Crazy because I never thought that there would be anything that would speak of
so beautiful today.
that would speak of that would have anything to do with me at all. And so you bring up the one story that I couldn't say anything about.
I was just wondering if I could
work and
work
told everyone the story. Still my jaw's dropped open. You left me to be speechless. Rock on with your bad selves and don't play with matches. That's all. Hugs from the sexy murdering MT.
Oh my god, I love it.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
I
What
mean,
are the fucking chances?
well, also, I mean, as we now know, pretty much everyone we talk to, everybody is basically one step away from a murderer experience. Like
In my story tonight, there's a murder involvement.
really,
Yeah, which is like so exciting.
that's very cool.
I wanted to tell you, speaking of one step away and hand to mouth consumption. So you did the Zanku chicken murders a while back.
Yeah.
And the other couple nights ago, or a while back, we got Zanku chicken, and we of course got extra and saved the fucking amazing garlic sauce that they give you with it. That's like fucking all over the
That
city.
getting drunk? Oh, we didn't get no popsicle.
I made a martini with it.
With the garlic sauce?
Yeah. Clearly, it was after one martini.
These are best.
Huh? It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was gross. It was good. It was gross.
Do they have
You
the
know,
gas
I'm
station?
just trying to picture it. Was it like floating inside the martini?
No. I stirred it up really well, so it was like a garlic infused martini.
Oh, okay.
With the fucking garlic stuffed olive with it.
Well, that sounds good.
I drank. It was like a dirty martini, but with the Zanku chicken garlic sauce.
Kind of strong tasting.
That sauce is. I mean, you taste it for days after you eat it. You belch that for fucking days. Good for you, though.
I love it.
Anything else? You think corrections corner, merch corner, show corner?
Stephen, hold on before Stephen does his March corner. I mean, the show corner announcement, which is an exciting announcement. I just want to bring up the hilarious person you mentioned on Twitter yesterday or today. Hey, don't Stephen kind of sounds like Tina Belcher. And I could not stop laughing. And then a barrage of people were sending gifs of Tina Belcher going like, yeah, baby.
Oh
And
my god.
it was so hilarious.
Let me hear it. Okay, Stephen, I want to hear do your normal voice because I want to picture it. But tell us about the show.
But also talk about butts.
No, but no accents or anything.
Yeah, I hear it. I fucking hear it. I totally fucking hear it.
Sure.
And I can hear it in my head too. Where you guys are going to Boulder, Colorado?
Yeah.
August 26th.
So we're doing the show in Denver for the
High Plains Comedy Festival.
and then the next night we're like, fuck it, let's go to fucking Boulder.
We're going to Mork and Mindy's town. It's a
Is that
town.
where from?
Yeah, that's where the opening shot of Mork and Mindy after the opening credits was that shot of the mountain that's right behind the city center, and I was always fascinated by that when I was a kid. It looked like the coolest little city right under a mountain, basically.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Oh. And when do we know if there's a pre-sale or any kind of info?
It'll go on sale the day that's today.
Thursday.
Oh, cool.
Yay.
Online.
Yeah, go to the website, myfavouritemurder.com/live.
Okay. There you go. And we're supposed to tease, and I feel like it is really fucking fun. We're planning a big old tour for like September through December or January.
I think September through February. Fuck. It's a big, long one, and we're coming to lots of cities, lots of people who have said, well, I want to come to my city, or I know you hate my city.
We didn't want to tell you about the time. We're like, we're coming.
Because we didn't know for sure, but we've gone over it. It's a lot. So hopefully some people will be excited that maybe have felt snubbed in the past.
Yeah, sorry, Des Moines. We're still not. You're not on the list yet, but you will be someday. No.
When will you learn to not point out one city that's now, it's like the mayor of Des Moines.
Never.
Is it Des Moines or Des Moines?
Steven?
Des Moines.
I bet it's Des Moines.
He did put his hand straight up
What
in
show
the
do
air.
you
I'm
like?
singing the song, the one song that I know that brings up the.
What?
What show do you like?
Des Moines
Which
Station.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Okay. Go to My Favorite Murder.
That one?
Shirts.com if you want merch. Or, do those things. Man, this is a short fucking intro.
We're getting right into it. It's a late night. Let's just do
It
it.
is a late night. All right.
This is a skipper's dream show. Come on.
You don't even have to skip. Steven, who's first?
It's you. Am I right?
Yeah, you've been on it.
Woo! Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not good enough?
You're not good enough. This is the episode where we tell you that. But we're gonna do it subtly through me naming who goes first. I know it's tough to hear.
I mean, I've always known. It's like you're not telling elementary school Georgia anything new.
Oh no! Let her come out. I want to speak to 11-year-old Georgia right now.
Okay.
Tell her to tell that psychiatrist that you want to talk about sex ASAP.
Is that creepy to talk about? I feel like I'm my own mom when your mom talks about sex and you're like, what? And my mom, Janet, what? I'm young.
My mom, being the nurse, she'd always be like, girls, it's natural. And you'd just be like,
Oh.
ew, you sound like a drag queen.
She sounds like a douche commercial.
It was totally like, a woman's body is,
Oh.
the chemicals in a woman's body are very special.
Women have needs and wants too.
Get me out of this
What about
carpool.
when you call it?
The female orgasm.
There's something about the female orgasm.
The female orgasm has a little pink bow on the side.
Oh, it's adorable and quiet, and it's just easy, and it smells like baby powder. Moving on. And then you're gonna move on from the sex, from the real orgasm.
That's right. The man orgasm.
And we don't even call it the man orgasm.
That's right.
It's
It's
the
the
orgasm.
orgasm.
But the female.
Rise up.
Let's talk about it. Woman got killed now.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the other night, I couldn't sleep. And as always, I click on any fucking article that is about some kind of case or murder or horrible thing that's going to make me not be able to sleep. Yep, which I already can't do. Right. So I found one called the 18 Creepy Murder Cases You've Never Heard of That'll Fuck You Up on BuzzFeed. And
I read that.
did you?
I read one that was murder cases that you've never heard before because I always love to read and be like, I've heard of
That's
this.
exactly what I was just gonna say. Oh yeah, try me. I always do it. Heard of it. Or like when it's like the craziest like 911 call murders, and it's like I fucking knew that one. It's not that crazy. And then you have
know what crazy is.
Then you have the assholes in the comments that are like, you forgot this murder, and it's like they didn't forget it. They didn't fucking put it in because it's not that
Yes.
So
It's almost like no matter what is whoever's coming toward that article is going to be an asshole.
like we are.
Yeah, exactly. And us leading the pack.
But shout out because at least half of them I didn't know. So this is from 18 Creepy Murder Cases You've Never Heard of That'll Fuck You Up.
Okay, I almost did one off of this list, I swear to God, and at the last minute I just didn't do it.
This one's boring.
I live for the week we do the same murder.
I know.
What happens? The world explodes? It's just, it will be a ton of laughing, and then we'll do something totally different.
And we'll never do the podcast again.
What if Steven, here it is, Steven, at some point in your job that you are now currently being paid for, you write up 2 murders and you keep them in a file in your big backpack. And then if there's a day ever comes where we do the same murder, you pull out the 2 mystery murders and then we have to read those.
No, because go ahead.
No, it's just from like 0, like you're just like, here you go.
Yeah.
You guys are good to go.
No, but I love the idea of us doing the same murder. We'd crack the fuck up, we'd freak the fuck out. Like, how did we both know this?
I guess you're right. We'll just do it simultaneously as opposed to one after the other. It would just be like,
And then that's that
paragraph by paragraph.
I think it'd be so fun. I think people who don't like our speech patterns would hate us, but I think it'd be really fun.
I do too.
I like looking forward to it.
Okay, Steven, cancel that assignment and instead, could you just pre-prepare others?
Yeah. You know what, Steven? You know what I want you to do? I want you to fucking get like one of those. I want you to get like party supplies, like loud making party supplies glitter thing. And the day that we have the same murder, I want you to fucking shoot glitter at us and blow all of those blow.
Yes.
You know, like put a party hat on all of
And
us.
you know what that means, Steven? That means since you never know when it could happen, you always have to have a pocket full of glitter
Okay.
and a blower in your other pocket.
Party hats for all of us. He's reaching in his back.
I wish you guys could see Steven's backpack.
Oh my god.
It is the biggest backpack I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's a JanSport. I think it's standard sized, but there's something about what Steve carries in it or whatever he's doing that it honestly looks like it looks like a 4-year-old movie.
And you can fit in there. And it's one of those ones that you see on like the late night news, like, is your kid's backpack screwing up its back? Tune in at 11 to find out.
I love that they would call the kid it and screwing up. That's the news I want to watch. Screwing up its back, maybe you should get rid of it. What a pain in the ass that thing is.
Jesus, gonna have back problems now, just like you fucking asshole. Why are you reproducing?
Why did you reproduce?
Wow, that's
You're
a long
weak spine child.
Can we cut that segment a little bit short?
Fine.
No, I mean the news.
No, I know.
Okay, not you.
I was continuing the improv, but I went too real with my character, and then I always blur the line like that.
I meant like, okay. Not you, never you.
We should never you, always us.
Always the news.
Always the news character.
It's always the pro.
If we took one improv class, imagine how annoying we would be. Imagine how we would heighten and expand.
Yes, and lose so many listeners. Okay, let's play Zip Zap Zop and then we'll start.
Oh, no.
You know, like maybe 1/3 of the fucking listeners understood that.
Yes. I don't know. I think improv and comedy are taking over the world. But I think it's required now.
Yeah.
That if you're 24, you graduated from college, you don't have a job, you have to take a class at
You
UC.
learn well in group settings. You kind of get lost and you're like, I need
a circle of dudes to stand in.
Yeah. One woman, one token woman to objectify.
It was really funny.
It was really funny, but she's not super hot. And doesn't wear
So
skirts.
you might have to wait to see her for a while.
Yeah, so she's like a bro, so I just keep doing improv scenes where I have to touch her butt. What is happening?
What character are you now?
No.
Is it the same news anchor? That guy's fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Karen, let me tell you what to do.
Okay. Suddenly I'm into it.
Get HelloFresh.com. It's a
Okay.
meal kit delivery service that makes cooking more fun, so Karen, you can focus on the whole experience. I know you've been asking for that. And not just the final plate.
Georgia, I've been so obsessed with those final plates. It's the plate that it ends up looking
No.
like.
Yeah, but so now stop doing that. Stop
don't
it.
do it anymore?
No. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop putting chives on things.
Got it.
Yep, you're done.
Do I get to sprinkle cumin on the outside edges of anything?
Yes, but first you gotta focus on the whole experience with HelloFresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
The HelloFresh sources the freshest ingredients, as part of the name,
Yeah.
measured to the exact quantities needed so there's no food waste.
And they also employ two full-time registered dietitians who will review each recipe to make sure it's nutritionally consistent and not eating stuff.
And those two registered dietitians are also twins. Related. It's one boy and one girl, and they know their shit. HelloFresh delivers food to your doorstep in a recyclable insulated box for free, and now they're offering light spring meals.
I tried my other breakfast items, and it was, chili peas are my favorite size. The fact that I can make it in my own was so good. It had everything. It had the tortilla, it had the black beans, tomatoes, chilies, cheese. egg, everything. Just like, and yeah, I'm never going back to my breakfast after this.
So when you order now, it's less than $10 a meal.
Think it through.
Less than $10 a meal. Less than that.
Can't go to Starbucks for less than $10.
Stop it. So we're gonna give you our promo code. It's murder. So for $30 off your first week of HelloFresh, visit HelloFresh.com and enter the promo code murder. And
Also, can I say this thing?
please don't have to. What's up, let's say it again. Sorry, say it again. For $30 off your first week of HelloFresh, visit HelloFresh.com and enter murder. Yeah, let's do it. Now let's see. Alright, so 18 years old, blah, blah, things empty because you don't need a lot. Here, Ardmore, Pennsylvania. And this is a really fucked up case that I've really never heard of. Okay. And I was shocked because it's fucking crazy, so it's okay. Early 70s, a woman was minor. She was pretty kind of mousy looking, 30-something-year-old English teacher at Upper Marion area high school in the mainline suburbs. Oh, by the way, it's called mainline murder. Okay, I'm in 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Susan is married with 2 children, and she's having an affair. Share of the English department. Like Clint Eastwood in that Spacey Day. Sorry. Remember how I was screaming at the chair and like, oh my god, she's doing the role play with a chair, and I got out of the hand, and she's like, unbent on this chair. It's not that serious. Her husband put a chair. She's not dead yet. Okay. Alright, so imagine at a high school, just picture the chair of the English department. Okay, Tweed vest, it was 70s, heavy beard, just a very large beard, and maybe some, like, Asian-shaped glasses that are indoor-outdoor, what do you call those, transition lenses. Yeah, and Susan herself was like, no, I love her, but she's like, oh, so that was kind of, she has these, the eyeglasses that are just taken out of her face, like just saucers on her face, which like looks cute. And it's like cool. And it's very 70s. So like, yeah, just when contact lenses started, when the contact lenses were as big as glasses frame. Yeah, glasses lenses. Like, you're just gonna cram in your head. You were just shoving things in your made of glass. That way. It's like, it was when, if it's still out at a price, people could help you find it. Yeah, that's how big they were. I was always proud of myself when it was in my mom's such a weird first era, just does not want to so she's voting with the chair of the English department. So you're saying, Mousy, whoever you're talking about, Victor, sounds to me like she's a real go-getter. Yeah. I mean, she's not afraid sidling up to the English department chair. And then cheating on her husband. May I speak to you in my private quarters? Yeah. But I think, here's the thing. I think he's a Ted Bundy type. This English department chair. Yeah. His name, okay. So then he might have been, sorry, but he might have been going toward her then. Yeah, okay. And she's having an affair. She has 2 children. His name is Bill Bradford. The guy. Nope, his name is Bill Bradfield. Okay. His name is Bill Bradfield. I'm gonna call him Bill. Okay. Okay. So Susan was the woman. Bill's the fucking creep. English department head. And he's super charismatic and charming. He's described by some of the other teachers as a pseudo-intellectual who was, quote, full of himself. Oh. So he's like a Ted Bundy charming. He's like 10 years older than her. She's swept off her feet by him. And she's just like, probably like, she's never had a female orgasm until she met him, I bet you. For a second, I thought that was a BuzzFeed article. I just like, wait, what?
You drive it?
Also,
if it was in the driveway, you would drive that?
Huh? I bet you he.
If we put it in the driveway, you would drive that?
Tight tweed elbow pads, some kind of thick transition lens, and a heavy cologne. I bet he put like oil in his beard. Yeah. Yeah, like cultivated his beard. Really trimmed it up every morning, and he probably had like really expensive whiskey. Right, and he had a book of erotic Chinese lithographs that he would invite people over to look at.
It sounded like they're describing me.
So good at this. Describing someone. I feel like we
see, dude, we feel like we're describing someone. Yeah, that's me.
Okay, and I agree. But enough
already. Get that for you right now.
Us having to deal with these people.
Don't you know?
No. All right, by March 79,
I could take a few more.
Susan leaves, has left her husband, and she tells her friends that they're engaged. She's madly in love with him, obsessed. So much so, Karen, that she gives him $25,000 and he tells her that he has a crazy great investment opportunity, 12% gains, it's only going to be 6 months, and I need it in cash.
Damn, Susan.
Okay, she gives him $25,000 to invest. She's 2 children.
And back then, what was that?
And her kids, Karen, 11. Hi, Karen. You're 11. You're not 11. It's not you. Karen's 11. Michael's 10. So she has like 2 young children. She's giving them student money. And are you ready for this? She was the beneficiary of her life insurance policy.
This is not going to go well.
Worth. How much do you think a life insurance policy for this woman would be?
$250,000?
Over $700,000.
Oh, no.
Look, what's that?
She cuts her children out of the life insurance policy. And she changes her will to make him Bill the sole heir to her estate.
So, okay, so she's
You're gonna go
getting
over there and join the
run
all
on
black
her
on black
part.
wall.
It sounds like she's pretty naive, you know, it's like a small suburb of Pennsylvania. She's an English teacher. She's not.
All the things that I wanted to be real for her are probably not true. She like,
Stop
she's got
turning
her,
the fucking light off.
as my dad likes to say, she got her bell wrong by this
Oh
guy.
my God, you're right.
Like,
Yes, I do.
the guy that, it's
Well,
that
I've
thing
seen
where,
that.
and it's a really good trick that
We don't
scumbags use, where it's that thing of like, they pick out people to maybe don't get certain kinds of attention, and then they slather you with that kind of attention, so that you're kind of like, oh, he's picking me of all people in the
I've
world.
never felt this way before.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
And I mean, fine, but get your bell rung and shit at the cost of your children.
You won't watch
No,
it?
no, just the will. No, just the will for your sweet English chair side piece.
And she wrote in it like,
Stop doing stuff.
Okay.
like who's the beneficiary? What's his relation? Like my intended husband. Like she fucking really thought this guy was gonna marry her.
Yeah.
So she didn't know that Bill, of course, was living with another woman for years, also a teacher at the same school. So he's just fucking getting his harem, which they did call it that.
Did she, and she didn't know that at all.
I think he was like, we're roommates. There's no sexual relation, you know. Like I think something like that happened. It's really hard. This took me a long time because, of course, like all of these crazy, really interesting murders, there's some fucking pieces that you just keep finding.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of information on them.
Okay.
He also had at least two other girlfriends, one of which was an 18-year-old former student of his.
Damn.
So yeah.
I see why you got
The
murdered.
$25,000 he had said was for investing had gone into a safe deposit box put in there by one of his girlfriends. And the term was ending soon, so she was expecting her money soon.
Okay.
What's going to happen?
Bad things.
Yes. The night of June 22nd, 1979. So we're 1979. Susan and the kids, and Karen and Michael, they're planning on meeting Bill. It's like a night of a crazy hailstorm. A neighbor saw them leaving their house just after 9 p.m. And the neighbor happens to be the aunt of a murderer now.
What?
I went into my favorite murder email account, put in the name of this thing, and out comes like 5 emails. And one of them, the chick was like, you gotta look this fucking email up. Her name is Gina A. She says that her mom, so Gina wasn't born yet, but her mom was the next door neighbor of this family. And she and her sister used to babysit Karen and Michael. And that Gina's great grandmother swore that she heard screaming the night they left, which is never confirmed. But the aunt and the great grandma were the last people to see them leaving the house.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So at that point, Susan and her kids vanish. But then, 3 days later, thank you, Gina A, for writing in, by the way.
Yeah.
3 days later, June 25th, 1979, this is like almost exactly a year ago. No, well, not a year ago. I meant. Okay.
I know what you meant.
Stephen. Stephen, well, I meant 30 years ago. Is that right? No. Yes, 30 years ago. Yes. No.
30, no.
20.
It's 2017.
8. and I eat 30 in 2 years.
That's exactly the kind of math I can't do.
Me too, and every other kind of
And geometry?
and everything. Oh man, I even told my psychiatrist about that yesterday, but I just can't do math.
Did you have a math shutdown in high school?
I had math shut down my whole life.
I have to get sent to a hypnotist about because my math got so crazy.
Which isn't gonna help you.
Oh, my mother had some ideas
Oh.
about the female orgasm and about hypnosis.
Did it help?
She was very spiritual. she was like new agey. Touch new agey, but from a registered nurse background. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like I've seen results. These are the things I've seen results in.
Good for her. I fucking meant to talk to you about this documentary I watched about a cult over the weekend, but I forgot.
Okay.
Next time.
Okay.
Anywho.
Boy, we're
Okay, the kids disappeared. 3 days later.
Go to the grocery store. Hi, twice.
A year ago, June 25th, 1979, a man calls the police about a quote, sick woman in the
I
trunk
was
of the
just going to
car.
Walmart to get 15 minutes. You
In
said,
the
Bro,
parking lot
you're
of the Host Inn in Swarton Township, Pennsylvania. It's about 90 miles from Susan's home. And in the trunk
You're
of
right,
her
you
own
know,
car, which
you
was
are
an
right.
I broke this down for
That
you.
is true.
An orange Plymouth Horizon hatchback. Did you write this? It's just like such an 80s.
So,
You're right.
what do you think?
A Plymouth Horizon hatchback. I feel like I can see what that is. Yeah.
No, you want some red rum? No, sir.
So
No,
she's
sir.
in the
That
back
one no
in the
more.
hatchback, and her body is
I'm
down
gonna
there.
have some more.
Oh, she
I'm
was
gonna
nude.
have
Susan
some
was
burger.
nude. She'd been
That's
severely
good, right?
beaten.
Red rum.
She had two black eyes. She was bound with a chain so tightly that the chains left bruises on her back. And she was killed with an injection of morphine. And it had been 24 to 36 hours after the beating in which
If
she
we ever dress up for Halloween, we should dress up as
They
the
were
twins from
excited.
China.
yeah.
I mean, that could be,
So
that could work.
obviously Bill,
That's all right.
That could possibly work.
You have to wear a dress.
was the main
Yeah, but that's the thing. It would work.
Found out about the affair, which he'd been
Because
denying
it was
to
all the same
everyone
size.
and saying wasn't true.
You won't be
And
much
they
of a
got
type.
the money.
Like,
My boobs aren't too far from yours. Right?
He was at the beach in Cape May, New Jersey, with a bunch of other teachers, and they all vouched for his whereabouts.
Yeah, but even if he wasn't nearby in that exact same time, why would she leave you as the beneficiary on her will if you weren't having an affair, or if there's no connection to you?
But they were at that point like, yeah, he was like, I don't think he ever denied it to the police.
Are you listening to this?
Sorry, yeah,
Just around town.
yeah, just like to the other teachers.
You want me to turn the grill on?
But he was out of town.
No?
And after a couple
You
of
said that already,
years,
right?
there's still no
Are you about to
evidence
yell at
charge
me?
him
Good job. I
with
appreciate you
Susan's
not.
death and the
'Cause I'll beat your
missing
fucking
children.
ass.
Okay, but there was enough evidence.
You like my car? I like my
for
car. And it's
charge Bill
nighttime.
with
Look.
Theft by deception because of the $25,000 she had given him, what turned out to be a bogus investment.
Oh.
This
So
is
they were
red.
like,
It's
we know
blue or
he
red.
had to do with this pure murder. We can't charge him for that. Let's just bring him in for this for now. So 72
And I
hours
did it all
before
designs
his
myself.
trial was supposed to begin, from his jail cell,
Yeah.
Bill
You just unlock a lot of stuff,
files a
and
claim
you
to
can
have
just
left
throw
Susan's
different things
life
on your
insurance
car.
money that was left
But
in.
these are like real cars that we drive on the road. They do not have a Tahoe.
He sends a
They
stamp.
did not have that.
Bird's mouth out
They have a Ford Mustang.
I did read
They're like Ford
conflicting
Mustangs.
actually not
I mean, like, as far as like how you can make them look really nice, and they are great driving fast cars.
Charges?
Yeah. If I just get that money real quick.
I'll be able to plea. And so the jury finds him guilty, obviously, in 1981. He's sentenced to up to 2 years in jail for the $25,000. And then during this time, police are also investigating stuff. So here's, okay, let's switch it up. Let's weird thing out there. The principal of the high school where Susan and Bill were teaching. The principal is Dr. J. Smith. I'm going to call him Principal Smith. I don't know how Smith he is. He's a 6-year-old dude, and he was known as the creepy school principal. So this dude is fucking creep. The Prince of Darkness, because I'm so lighthearted.
Because I love to be around children, and I love the devil. I have goat eyes, and I can't do it.
It's a thing of like when you go to a doctor's office and you fill out your thing, it's like, what name do you like to be? Like, you have a nickname that you want to be called? Yeah.
Darkness, Marty.
I go by Marty. Okay, okay. So this is my favorite fucking thing in the entire world. Ready for the best quote you've ever heard?
Yes.
So, crime writer Joseph Wambaugh wrote a book about the whole case called Echoes in the Darkness, which is like,
Same guy that wrote the John Orr book.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
This guy, he was a cop, and he was like, goodbye, I'm going to go make a ton of money instead.
Yeah.
So he, in the book, says that, quote, some thought that Jay Smith, the principal, looked like an obscene phone call. Have you ever heard a better description of someone?
That's fucking genius.
I know.
And amazing.
Looked like an obscene phone call.
So he's like, what? He's like, I picture like shoulders up around the ears,
Yeah.
kind of like wringing his hands, like greasy
Bicycle.
hair, yeah, big thick glasses. Oh man,
He looked like an obscene phone call.
that's amazing.
I want to go ahead.
What was funny?
That was
That's
beautiful.
They said he looked like an
Joseph
obscene
Wambaugh.
phone call.
Or John. Just
Yeah.
Joseph.
Like he looked creepy.
Okay, so he's known to be
He
eccentric,
Okay.
and a weird man, often sitting in his office during the school hours, wearing only his underwear,
No,
which
that's-
you could get away with in the fucking 70s.
You know the great thing I've learned about y'all
You
women?
couldn't. Marilyn,
It's just noise.
Take these papers.
Yeah, I just like background noise.
Yeah, I just still gotta fuck
I'm just
out.
hot.
Cause I can't catch
It's
nothing they're
winter.
saying.
It's hot in here.
It's the dead of winter, Principal Smith, and it's midnight.
Well, I'm the Prince of Darkness, so I'm just constantly sweating. And it's midnight. Why did you call me in?
Why did you call me in from home?
Yeah. Because I'm the Prince of Darkness. Okay, there's rumors around town that Principal Smith had devil worship sex parties and had burned bodies in the school incinerator and buried chopped up body parts. So I guess they were building a school pool at this time, and so people are like, he's fucking burying bodies under when they're building the pool, so they'll be hidden forever.
I just have to say that both of those rumors that
I didn't
you
have a
just named
Corvette,
sound
so I can
like
get a
they came out
Corvette.
straight
It was
out of
really-
the
I get a
grade
Corvette.
classroom.
Yeah, the new style one.
No.
What if you're cutting up bodies?
Yeah. He has occult sex parties and everything. That's not a thing. I mean, people.
It was pretty fast.
Bound, but like,
Yeah.
there's no occult. Like, nobody wants to have an occult sex party.
No, but
It's
he
like a
is
bummer.
sitting. What's worse and harder to face
Yeah.
is he literally is sitting in his underwear during school hours.
Like that part's true.
That's-
So who cares if the others
You
isn't?
don't need to make up satanic parties when the principal's sitting in his underwear in his office.
Like enough. Come on. Like, don't your parents have anything? It's okay. Not any of it. Okay. So, but Principal Smith's own kid, Stephanie Hansberger, and her husband Edward disappeared in the early 1950s. She's been missing. They were reportedly heroin addicts. They fucking disappeared out of nowhere. And they had left on their own because they were drug addicts, but to this day they've never been seen again.
Wow.
So people assume.
They're in the pool too.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So a year before Susan's body is found, Principal Smith is caught trying to break into cars in the mall parking lot. The principal is trying to break into cars in the mall parking lot. And on him are 4 loaded guns, as well as silencer made from an oil filter, a tranquilizing drug, and quote, a pump with 2 slits for the eyes. No, that's what it's called.
Balaclava, that's not a balaclava though.
Thank you. I can never get that. Thank you for your input. I can never get that fucking word.
It's, you know why it's weird? I always think of Balenciaga, the designer. But, Islets is more, oh yeah. Balaclava sticks to your face is like ski mask.
And you have an opening for the mouth, too, right?
Ah, you're right. And also it's just more devil worship. Yeah.
Which means you can monitor for drug
I guess just
You're a sociopath. You're not panicking.
Right, that's right.
Alright, so that's fine. Swinger publications. Bestiality porn.
fuck is this truck parked in there for?
That's what Mrs. Principal Smith said. Maureen Smith, you need to face the facts. Have you ever had people orgasm? I've heard of them. I've heard tell. Those are, what's it called? Those are made up. Those are fictional. Those are none of my business. Principal Smith, she told me that that's just, it's a feminist movement where they try to get you to have sex. Wait, can you call your husband Principal Smith? Oh, yes, when he asked on our wedding night. He was the devil cousin. And the devil tells me to do something. She's not like, what's that? Okay. That accent is like a murderer, yes. They also find a fake Brink security badge, which they later tied to a $15,000 armed robbery a year later. So he was using this fake fucking costume and his fucking security badge and holding up Sears 50 grand. Why does he have later? The popcorn's amazing. But also maybe that's why he needed to go up in his office. Hands on you, like committing major heists, like and then rushing back. Yeah, one time. I'm so hot. Marilyn, can you just fix this on your own? Sorry, I just ran from the bank. All right, so he's arrested, and among his defense witnesses at his trial in 1979, 3 months before Susan's body is found, is our friend Bill. Oh, Mr. Elbow Patches. Yeah. He gives Principal Smith an alibi, and even back then, Susan, who's still alive at the time, 3 months left to live, she doubted Bill's alibi too. She thought he was making it up. Oh, but Principal Smith either way is found guilty and given 5 years. But, okay, he's free on bail while he's waiting sentencing. His date in court, which he was late to, was June 25th, 1979, which may I fucking remind you, is the day that Susan's body was found. And he was late that morning to court. Because he was calling and saying a sick lady is in a car. Well, I don't know, but okay. Got it. Susan was found early that morning at like 5 a.m. in the trunk of the car. But her kids disappeared. Right? And the court date he was late to was about 15 minutes from the hotel where the parking lot where her body was found. And police at that moment during his arraignment are removing Susan's body from the car. Okay, so Patches is on like in Connecticut or something, right? He said he had an alibi being like far away. Yeah. So he got this guy to do it. All right, let's keep going. Okay. Yes, this will be discussed. We're gonna talk about this. This is gonna happen. I don't know why I have to keep on guessing. No, I love it. It's the best. It's fun. It makes me like happy. So guess what else is in the back of the hatchback? I'll tell you. Under Susan's body, there's a sex toy, and B, also the plastic comb with the name of Principal Smith's Army Reserve Unit. Oh no. Which I'm guessing, you know fucking gross old men like that, like grandpas, put their fucking gross greasy combs in the front of their fucking shirt pocket, like button down with short sleeve shirt pockets that took off when they were in their offices. Yeah. Like, you know, he bent down into the trunk and it probably fell out of that top shirt pocket and then he put her, you know what I mean? Totally. Yes. But it was a comb that he had his own name, Principal Smith, put on. No, I think it was the Army Reserve Unit that he was in. Oh, just that? Yeah. It didn't say Principal Smith's Army Reserve Unit. Okay, because I took you totally literally on that. They probably got it at like a fucking Legionnaires Hall party. Got it. But, you know, they passed them out. Got it. It was just the one he belonged to. Yeah, like his name was all everyone. What if his first name was Principal? That would be great. Mr. Principal. It's Principal Paul Smith. Mr. Principal Paul Smith. Then later, a cute little green pin that was a souvenir from a class trip to the Philadelphia Museum of Art that Karen, 11-year-old Karen, wore the day she disappeared, was found under the front passenger seat of Principal Smith's car. Oh, no. Yeah. So almost 4 years after Susan Reiner's death, Bill Bradford, Patches, is arrested and charged with 3 murders, even though the kids have never been found. Charged with 3 murders. And on April 6, 1983, thanks to the help of another English teacher who was a good friend of Bill, who was like a really fucking sweet, wonderful guy, and got conned by Bill as well, he felt betrayed and freaked out and told the FBI, and he was a key witness in the trial.
What did he tell him?
It's Mr. Volatis. He told them that for months before Susan's death, Bill was freaking out because he was telling everyone he thought Principal Smith was going to kill her, but it was really odd and weird, and he like got a gun to defend her, but never told her about his feelings. Super weird and convoluted, and makes you go,
Is he setting up an alibi, or is he like, he's pre-throwing people off?
Right. But why even bring it up in the first place?
Right.
Because he thinks he's smarter than everyone.
Yes.
So he's always going to keep involved in it.
Because Ian Beddick, a sociopath, so he knows he can like charm and manipulate people to kind of believe what
Right. And then so when she dies, they're all going to be like, well, yeah, Bill knew about this. Bill knew Principal Smith was going to kill her.
This is what he feared all along.
So this is what happened, and Bill was right. So instead of being like, Bill is fucking creeping us all out. He has a gun. All right. So Mr. Volatis was cool. In 1986, while in prison for his other conviction of the armed robbery, Principal Smith is convicted of conspiring with Bill to kill the Reiner family. So he's convicted as well.
Whoa.
Both men tried to pin the murders on the other, claiming they were set up by the other one. Principal Smith is convicted of 3 counts of murder and given the death penalty.
Wow.
Cut to 6 years later. This isn't ending yet.
Okay.
There's more fucking twists.
I never wanted to
I
end.
know, right? In 1992,
Good old 92.
an antique dealer, like this is so what the fuck, I can't even believe this. An antique dealer, who is just like, he's like American Pickers, dudes. Like antique dealer sounds really nice.
You know what? I'll give you 800 for that propeller.
Yeah. It's $10,000. Well, who's gonna buy it for that? You're a dumb farmer, you don't know that. So he's the guy I'm working with. Did you watch that show? It's like, no, like feel it. Like they need each other. Okay. That quote, antique dealer is hired to an estate detective, like the main state detective that was involved in this case.
I just want to make sure that's it.
It's raining. Hired to clean up his attic.
Some here on that.
We already have attics in this story. That's right.
But they disappear, right? This thing. This is the fact that you're even introducing an antique dealer that is about to clean out an attic is my favorite. Please go.
In the attic, there's a box containing the column found under Susan. Investigating notes contradicting prosecution testimony, and a piece of quote lifters, which I think is like tape that they contain the sand and quartz at the bottom of Susan's feet that they never turned over to the defense. Why? So I don't understand if they were getting caught. I don't understand that part.
They went and got another one.
Maybe just that it wasn't just like this. I don't know. Yeah, whatever reason they have it, and then contradictory notes, fine. But the lifters, okay. Bill said he was at the beach that fucking weekend.
Yes.
And they found sand and quartz. They could have tested the fucking sand at that Jersey Shore beach. Why did she have that on her feet?
Yeah.
My feeling is, did she leave that night to confront him? He was there with his living girlfriend. He fucking freaks out and kills them.
He doesn't expect it basically his little separate lives overlap.
And she's like, you gotta tell them now.
That's out of the way.
Leave you off and tell them myself.
Or just, I'm going to change that rule and all the other people.
Yeah.
I got paid for a pick and drop off. Please take one the other way.
35. Control subject has entered an unidentified vehicle fleeing the scene at high speed. Code 3.
Copy, Adam 35. Be advised, the subject is 440 and considered dangerous.
Smith's defense attorney said that this could have been partner
Copy that. Pursuit subject heading northbound on Coolidge Street.
Subject has gone around the roadblock, Control.
Copy that. 186 on patrol cars disabled after TC. Alright, copy. Moving to pin them in.
Subject is stopping. They just went over the spikes, Control.
All units be aware. Roadblocks are being prepared. We're locking down routes of travel.
1 Adam 13, our vehicle is wrecked. We'll need a new primary unit. Adam 35, we're on the subject. We'll take primary. They've gone through the barrier. Control failure on containment.
Adam 6, our vehicle's too damaged to run. Copy.
L30, I'm gonna pin him. I've just ran the subject. L30, my car is totaled. I'm out of the pursuit.
Copy.
I don't know what she sees in you. You're a thrill joke.
Don't know who she is.
For real?
I'm getting paid, that's all that matters.
I don't think so, no. I mean, no, I don't think so.
We just dented their bumpers. They're not flowing.
That's running that. Say, look, right away while I do what I need to get done.
Control, we're out of pursuit. Unable to follow?
Now heading northbound through South Liberty Tunnel.
Okay, copy. Lincoln 30.
Subject is stopping. We got him. Control, subject pulled away. Still in pursuit.
Copied, Adam 13. Do you have a location update?
Now heading northbound through Liberty Desert.
Copy. Northbound through Liberty Desert.
The subject outraged us. We'll try to catch up.
Oh my god! Yeah, it only took 74. Alright, Susan was played by Summer County. Oh, yeah!
All units, highway.
Old Patches Bill is played by Peter Coyote.
Yes, Peter Coyote.
I don't know him.
Yes, you do. He's the narrator for the Oscars.
Oh.
Coming up next. He's like, and he's like a very, I think he's from theater mostly.
Okay.
But you've seen things, he's super low key.
He looks like Ray Romano.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like Ray Romano's Artie brother.
Because I watched the 10 minutes, which were so good, and like there are so many other convoluted points to this whole story that like I couldn't even get to that weren't really part of it. But I think they're in the miniseries. I'm so bummed I can't find it. You know, someone listening has it on cassette. Their mom recorded it when it came out.
They're gone. Oh, thank God. Can you drive me to the safe house? Or is that also extra?
I'll throw that one in for free.
How long have you been doing this?
Since my 19th birthday.
Hell of a birthday.
Don't I know it? What do those come with you anyway.
The house was uncovered. Sold me out.
You're undercover inside the house?
You really ought to talk to my boss. How a girl like you become a runner anyway?
Took a police cruiser for a joyride the day I turned 19.
Oh, is that all?
Ended up with 20 cop cars on my tail. Hell of a way to go to the academy.
You were police?
Yeah. My rebellious phase.
No wonder you're nuts.
Says the guy who double across the house.
That's totally different.
And that's your stop.
Good. That was fun.
Ramirez had a lot to say about you. Not all of it.
So you're my mysterious benefactor. I figured Marcus Ware had a good reason for putting us in touch.
We'll see. Sending you the info.
So you want to watch that movie?